Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley's son Grayson, 19, asked to sleep in parents' room after they came home from prison. Todd Chrisley is reflecting on his family's reunion after he and wife Julie Chrisley were released from prison. During the family's Saturday, June 28, interview on My View with Laura Trump, Todd, 56, said that son Grayson, 19, requested to sleep in his parents' room the first night they returned to Tennessee. Todd and Julie, 52, had been behind bars in federal facilities in Florida and Kentucky for nearly 2 years, respectively. He came in and he said, "Can I sleep with you tonight?" Todd recalled. "I said, you can." Todd and Julie were released from federal prison in May after receiving presidential pardons over their respective fraud convictions. The Chrisley Knows Best couple had maintained their innocence during a trial and subsequent appeal hearing in 2022. In addition to Grayson, Todd and Julie are parents to Chase, 29, Savannah, 27, and Chloe, 12, who is the biological daughter of Todd's eldest son, Kyle, 33. Todd shares 2 older children from a previous marriage. The first night, Grayson said, "I'm scared to go to sleep because I feel like I'm just going to wake up in the morning and they're not going to be here," Savannah added to Fox News host Laura Trump. Grayson's always said, "I have 2 moms, because we're 9 years apart. And so we've always been attached to the hip. He's taught me more than any person in the world ever could the past 2.5 years." Savannah, who had custody of Grayson and Chloe when her parents were incarcerated, added, "He thought I saved him when in reality he saved me. Going through this together has been such a whirlwind." Grayson, for his part, is very grateful that his parents have returned home and aren't going anywhere again. "The best part is really just being together," the college student said on Saturday. "I mean, you take those times for granted when they are home, and then when you realize one day it could be there, and the next day it's not, it means just a little bit more." After Todd and Julie returned home, Grayson had something extra to celebrate on Father's Day. "Man, where do I start? Today is the first time in about 3 years we have actually been able to celebrate today," Grayson wrote via Instagram on June 15th. "Happy Father's Day to the man I look up to and the man who has always been there even in his toughest times. I really don't know how you do it, how you always know the right thing to say and do, or how you always come out on top. I pray every day that one day I can be at least half the man you are. I love you always, Dad." When Todd and Julie Chrisley finally walked back through the doors of their Nashville home after months behind bars, their family reunion was filled with tears, laughter, and an unexpected request from their youngest son, Grayson. The 19-year-old, who has spent the past year trying to navigate life without his parents at home, reportedly asked to sleep in their room on the first night of their return. While it may seem unusual for a young man his age, those close to the Chrisleys say it was a touching, deeply human moment, one that spoke volumes about the emotional toll their absence took on him. For nearly 2 years, Grayson Chrisley has been the quiet figure in the background of the family's public turmoil. While his older siblings, Savannah and Chase, have been vocal about their parents' imprisonment, Grayson kept to himself, juggling high school, baseball, and the enormous pressure of living under the shadow of a scandal. Those who have followed Chrisley Knows Best since its early days remember him as the sweet, mischievous boy with a quick wit and his dad's sense of humor. But fans have noticed that in recent interviews, his once bright demeanor seemed dimmed. So when Todd and Julie returned home, Todd earlier than expected due to adjustments in his sentence and Julie following a few weeks later, their homecoming was emotional, raw, and almost surreal. Savannah, who had taken on the role of legal guardian for both Grayson and Chloe during their parents' incarceration, reportedly helped organize a small, private gathering. Balloons, flowers, and handwritten notes from friends lined the living room. Yet, amid the celebration, Grayson was said to be overcome with a mix of joy and fear. "He's 19, but in that moment he was like a little boy again," one family insider shared. "He didn't want to leave their side. He asked to sleep in their room that night, not because he's immature, but because he didn't want to wake up and realize it had all been a dream." For Todd and Julie, who have always prided themselves on being hands-on parents, the moment reportedly broke their hearts. "They were in tears," the source continued. "Julie kept saying, 'Baby, we're home now. You don't have to worry anymore.' Todd, who usually hides his emotions behind humor, couldn't even speak for a minute. He just hugged Grayson. It's easy to forget that while Todd and Julie were fighting for their freedom in court, their youngest children were living a very adult reality. Grayson had to finish high school while the family's name was being splashed across every tabloid and entertainment site. Savannah, meanwhile, was doing everything she could to keep the family's life stable, running a podcast, managing finances, and being both big sister and podcast episode of Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. Savannah hinted at just how much the family had gone through emotionally. Grayson doesn't talk about it much, but it hit him really hard, she said. He's grown up in front of the cameras, but this was something else entirely. It changed him. According to family friends, Grayson's decision to sleep in his parents' room wasn't about dependency. It was about healing. He just needed that sense of security, said one insider. After so long of feeling uncertain, having them both home under one roof was something he didn't want to let go of. Todd himself, never one to shy away from an emotional moment, reportedly took the opportunity to have a long, heartfelt conversation with his son. "You're the man of the house now," he told him, according to someone close to the family. "You stepped up when we couldn't be here. I'll never forget that." Julie, ever the nurturing mother, focused on rebuilding a sense of normalcy. She spent the next few days cooking Grayson's favorite meals, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and peach cobbler, and talking late into the night about everything he'd been through. She told him she was proud of him, that she knew how hard it had been, a source shared. She said she didn't want him to ever feel like he had to carry that burden again. But for all the tenderness, the transition hasn't been without challenges. The Chrisleys' home, once buzzing with cameras, crew members, and production teams, is now quieter, reflective. The family is learning to reconnect without the structure of a TV show, or the looming pressure of public scrutiny. "It's weird," Grayson admitted during a recent social media live. "We're used to living our lives for the world to see, and now it's just us." Fans have reacted with an outpouring of support. Many have shared messages on social media expressing empathy for Grayson's vulnerability. "He's such a sweet kid," one fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter. After everything his family went through, that moment just shows how much love they still have for each other. In the days following their return, the family reportedly decided to have a Chrisley night in, a small tradition they started years ago. Everyone wore pajamas, watched movies, and talked about their favorite memories from the early days of the show. "It was their way of saying, 'We made it through,'" said a close friend. While some might raise eyebrows at a 19-year-old wanting to sleep in his parents' room, those who know the Chrisleys say it's perfectly in character. "This family's love runs deep," the source added. "They've been through hell together, and now that they're home, they're holding on tight." Todd has always believed that family is everything, and this latest chapter only reinforces that belief. "No fame, no money, no show. None of it matters if your family's not right," he reportedly told a friend. "We're not perfect. We never were. But God's given us another chance, and I'm not wasting it." As the Chrisleys begin to rebuild their lives, one thing is certain. The experience has forever changed them. Grayson, once the shy kid viewers watched grow up on TV, is stepping into adulthood with a new kind of strength. A quiet resilience born out of loss, love, and redemption. And that night, when he asked if he could sleep in his parents' room, it wasn't just about comfort. It was about coming home. It was about reclaiming the simple, precious feeling of safety that only family can bring. For the Chrisleys, it was a moment that reminded them that despite everything, they still had each other. And that was enough. In a world quick to judge, the Chrisleys' story continues to be one of endurance, forgiveness, and fierce love. And for Grayson, that first night back under the same roof was more than just a reunion. It was the beginning of healing the wounds that had quietly shaped his teenage years. After all, as Todd once said in an early season of Chrisley Knows Best, family is like a quilt. It might have some rough patches, but when you wrap yourself in it, it still keeps you warm.